All right. Well, welcome back, my friends, to another episode of Land Stories Live. I am your host, Dave Deniston of Generation Family Properties LLC, where our goal is to help hundreds of people like you own land. And most of all, we want to be able to tell your land story. Now, if you're watching this live or watching this on YouTube, I have a property featured today. And of course, we'll always love to hear from you. Where is this property? What's the state? What's the county? And this property is incredible. It has beautiful mountain views. You can see it has trees. It has power, water, and sewer nearby. But before we get to this property, it's important to me, since I'm flying solo today, there's no Christy, no Mia. I want to make sure to empower you with some information. We're going to talk about what is the chain of title and what does that mean, and how do you get the chain of title for your land for little to no cost. So stay tuned for that. But of course, first, we have some bad dad jokes. We got two of them. All right, bad dad joke number one. I startled my next door neighbor with my new electric power tool. I startled my next door neighbor with my new electric power tool. And I had to calm him down by saying, "Don't worry, this is just a drill." Don't worry, it's just a drill. All right, bad dad joke number two. I never buy anything that has Velcro with it. That's right. I never buy anything that has Velcro with it. Why? It's a total ripoff. It's a total ripoff. All right, my friends. Well, that's enough of the bad dad jokes for right now. And we'll get to the educational content. I promise today I'm going to be talking about something important called the chain of title. So let me talk through first what is the chain of title. Basically, what you want to do when you're buying property is you want to make sure that, number one, that the person that is selling it to you, whether it's myself or anyone else, that they actually own the thing. That's goal number one. Goal number two is you want to be able to see, well, do they have this title cleanly? Meaning that, is there anything about the history of this property that might cause it to have an issue? So this is part of what title companies do. But as an independent company that we sell properties direct to you, I think it's an important concept for you to know that if you ever want to do your due diligence, this is how you go about the process. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I definitely suggest watching the YouTube video as we go forward, so that you might be able to see this live if you are listening to this over the audio version. So what we have here is, let's say you are looking at this property. I'm going to go through 3 different properties with you in 3 different counties so that you can know how does this differ from county to county, jurisdiction to jurisdiction, and how we get it done for pretty darn cheap, if not even free in a lot of cases, to figure out that chain of title. Who was the previous buyer? Who was the buyer before that? And so on. So you'll see here, we have a property that is in a place called Costilla County, Colorado, in a subdivision called the Rio Grande Ranches, where you're close to the Rio Grande River. And if you scroll down on our website listing, we have a section that says property details. And in this property details site, you will look and you'll see, okay, here's the subdivision, here's a street address, here's a city, state, county, zip code, size, APN, and legal description. So if this was a property that you were interested in, then what you could do to verify that we own the property and look at the chain of title is by going to the county website. So I have here in front of me the Costilla County website, which is colorado.gov/Pacific/Costilla County. Again, colorado.gov/Pacific with a P/Costilla County. And then once you're on there, you can go to the departments and then the assessor. And on the assessor site, you can do a property search. they'll have you click here where it says Enter Eagle Web. After you click on Enter Eagle Web, you'll see here in a moment that there is this account search area where you could search by owner name, account number, parcel number. In this particular case, you would be using the APN, the assessor's parcel number, to find the property. So on the search, under where it says parcel number, you'd enter this in, which in this case is 715-36210, and you'd hit search. I actually have this already pulled up, and here's what this looks like on the assessor site. There's so much valuable information on here. You can see assessed value, which in this case is about $3,200, which assessed value isn't always the same as market value, but that's a conversation, a topic for another day. You can see here the legal description. You can see here who the owner is. Hey, look, it's Generation Family Properties. So you can see right here that we own the property, which is one of the biggest questions that I know people have, is they're concerned about something being a scam. Well, if you go to an assessor's site or perhaps a GIS system, depending on when it's been updated, this is a great way to do it. And not every county has these tools, and so that's why we're going to go through 3 different counties here. So you can see here that as you look through the information, that Costilla County here has transfers, where you can look at these different reception numbers. There's different descriptions. There's sale dates, prices, book and page numbers. And a little follow-up here, the book and page number is something that the county used to have back in the day. They'd have this huge volume that literally with books and pages in it, and they'd have mounds of books that had history of property sales. Nowadays, all this stuff is online, and so it's so much easier for us to do. But they still often will have a reception number or book and page number depending upon the county. So what you can do is you can click on each one of these things and see what's going on here. So let's start at the earliest date that we see, December 18th, 2002. There was a death certificate filed where someone passed away, and there was no grantee entered in here. So the gentleman, Tony, had bought this property at some point, and he passed away. And what happened in this particular case was that there were a bunch of people that inherited money at the same particular time. And so it passed from Tony to them. And ideally, we want to see another document here. And so what we'll do if something is missing, we'll call the county and say, hey, we're looking to figure out what happened from here to here. We saw Tony was the last owner and he died. Who are these other owners that are listed, but we don't see them anywhere here on the transfers? And so the county will send you documentation to get. In Costilla County, they actually won't send it online. You actually have to get a paper copy to request it. So what we do is we get those documents to help establish the chain of title. Now here, you'll notice January 24th, 2019, there was a warranty deed. And so these were the beneficiaries from Tony's estate that were listed on the property with the assessor and listed in the transfer paperwork that happened but wasn't showing here on the county website. And then you can see grantee, Generation Family Properties. You can see each one of these transactions has a different book number and page number. Now, something else that happened here, you notice there's a personal representative deed. And what happened in this particular case, you'll notice this actually just got recorded a couple of weeks ago. We bought this property in January, but what happened was that the owner name was showing as us and one of the parties who had deceased. And so we had to go and get a personal representative deed signed to make sure that Ronald Long was off of the property, which now obviously you can see that he is. And so that was something that I was looking back through properties we bought. It's like, wait, hold on. This property had been sold. The executor had signed off on it. And so we got that all taken care of. And now we have a clear chain of title in having no other encumbrances or anyone else on this particular property. Something else that can pop up in other counties, Navajo County here is an area where we own property. If you look at this particular one, this is one in Snowflake in Navajo County, Arizona. Nice property that has some trees all around it, good road access. You can see a couple of roads kind of going through there. In Rancho the Golden Horse, again, you could search by APN number. Now, in this particular county, you would go not to the assessor, but to the recorder. And what's cool about Navajo County is you can go on their particular website and you could search by a block, lot number, subdivision. You can't really search by the parcel ID, I found. You can search by names. So if you go here and you do a start search, and then you go to search, you can see here all the different things that you could search by. Parcel number is not one of them, but you can search by lot number, block number, subdivision, which we have listed, for example, here on us in the legal description. So you could do it that way, or you could search for generation family properties or something like that. We have had quite a few lots in this subdivision. So if you search by our name, by business name, it might take you longer to find out stuff. So once you pull up the record, you can see here to establish it, we actually can see the warranty deed. And if you look at the image, here you go. You can see the Tisdales have signed this. They were both named. And we could go to the next page, make sure a signature is showing. There's the grantors. Okay, great. We can see a copy of the deed to help establish chain of title that Generation Family Properties was the company that bought it. And you could look on the assessor's site, perhaps, or GIS map, although I do find a lot of those things tend to be delayed. But if you ever have any questions about this, certainly reach on out. The last county is Klamath County. And Klamath County is a little more difficult. You can view who owns a property on the GIS mapping system. So if you go to the assessor's office again, click here on the geographic information system, click here, parcel applications. I generally use this one, the Klamath County Tax Lot Finder. And what's a little funky about Klamath County, here's a property we have in Klamath County. There's a map tax lot number and there's an APN number. And if you search by the APN number, you have to take out the R that's included on the dates. And so you'll go here and search. And again, you can see that Generation Family Properties owns it. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us much. So in the case of Klamath County, if you want to find out chain of title, what you actually have to do is call the assessor. So you go to government, departments, and then the assessor page, and you call the assessor and you try and find out when are the last few transactions, because you want to get that chain of title, right? Not just one link, but ideally 2 or 3 other ones to make sure that the chain of title is correct as it moves from one person to another to another. And once you call them, you can find out what book and page number something was recorded on. And then you have to call the recorder. And the recorder, for like $5 or $10, could send you the deeds online. So that's the kind of stuff that we do as we do chain of title. And if anyone else has any other input in terms of maybe something they've used before outside of a title company, always appreciate other people's feedback. So there you are, my friends. There is pretty much everything you need to know about chain of title. Now, behind me, I have a property. And I'm curious to know if anyone has guessed quite yet, where is this property? What's the state? What's the county? And what's the city? Well, it's all right here. It's in Crestone, in Saguache County, in Colorado. And here's the picture. You can actually see we have it right here on our website that I have in back of me. And what I love about this area is there's mountains literally right at your footsteps. You are so close to the mountains. There's elk that go through here and deer that go through here and many, many beautiful, wonderful animals that wander through this area. And what is unique about it is that in so many cases, we have to go and if we have an off-grid property, we have to go and we have to install our own electricity. You have to drill for a well or have a septic system. And that can be great for some people that know how to do that. Other people want to actually be able to build a house and not have to worry about all those things. Well, this property is, I'm going to run the video so you can see it here real quick. You can see it's pretty flat around the back end of it. And there's the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. It's in a area called the Baca Grande Chalets 2s. Nice road access, getting to the property, and so on. Now, what's interesting about this one is the water, sewer, and electrical lines. They run on the street that is perpendicular to this. So to give you an idea, Camino Baca Grande is a paved road, and then there's a dirt road called the Lone Pine Way where the power, water, and sewer run off. As a matter of fact, you can see that there's one home over here, one home over here, no other homes directly around the property. And here's our property right here. And most of these lots that you see, they're about half an acre. This lot is 1.8 acres. So you're 3 to 4 times larger than the normal property. Now, because the water, power, water, sewer is running right here, what has to happen is the line has to be extended. So if we go to where our property starts, you can see here on Google Maps, it's about 150 feet, something like that, to the line. So it's not that far away, but you do have to extend some of those utilities in order to get it here. So it is a bit of an investment. But this area, as you could tell from the video I showed you, lots of mountains nearby, lots of hunting, BLM land. If I scroll out here just a little bit, BLM land is like right here. I mean, you are literally a few hundred feet away from BLM land. There's a creek, Willow Creek, that is close to the property here from the mountain runoff that happens. You can see there's a gulch right there. The city of Crestone is just right over here. So you're about 15 minutes away from Crestone. It's kind of interesting as you look here on Google Maps, there's a lot of different retreat centers. So here's Crestone Healing Arts, Willow Creek Retreat House, a Temple of Wisdom and Compassion. This area is unique in that it's kind of considered a spiritual center for a lot of people. So Native Americans used to come here quite often and do some worship and stuff. So a lot of people talk about kind of frequency and vibrations. But if that's not for you and you love to golf, they have up around over here is the golf course. They have tennis courts right next door, library. So lots of free things that you get with this particular property. As I mentioned, it's 1.84 acres, which is actually 3 lots combined into one. So that helps to save some money. There are more taxes on this lot than others because you do have the utilities nearby. So you have about $530 a year. This is an HOA here, the Baca Grande POA, and you can't camp or RV unless you're residencing on it. What's cool about the POA, they have their own emergency department. They take care of the roads. You get the golfing. You get all that kind of stuff. Just a few more pictures of the property that we got on the website. Again, just gorgeous mountain views, lots and lots of trees, easy road access. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. Have another picture to show you on our Google map here, this is a screenshot of the GIS mapping system. And you can see here how big this property is. Next door, like this is a fraction of the property that we have. So you can see kind of the outlines of the different properties, which if anyone ever wanted to buy some of the adjacent lots, we definitely would be happy to try and help out with that process. One of the things I wanted to point out on this property is the price. So here's where our property is, about right here. On Zillow, there is this $5,500 one, which is the closest lot. You can see that's 0.44 acres. 0.44 acres, going for $5,500. So this lot is literally 4 times that size. And if we multiplied this times 4, that would give us $20,000. But we're not selling this for $20,000. We are selling this lot for only $500 down to get started and about $300 a month. Or if you want to do a cash price, our cash price is under $10,000 plus the document fee to get started. That's it. That's like if you got 2 of the lots we saw here on Zillow, you'd be paying that price and you'd have less than an acre for that. So this is a heck of a deal for this particular property, and one that I think is so unique and fun. Our owner financing price is a little higher, $10,999 plus interest, but certainly you could buy it at the cash discount price if you want as well. So that, my friends, wraps it up for the show today, and would love to hear from you in terms of what questions you have and what thoughts are on your mind as you look at vacant land or maybe even this particular property. As we look forward here, I was sick last week, so I apologize. I missed an episode, but would love to speak with you and your journey about land and walk you through it. Definitely, if you have questions about this property or another, it would be an honor to speak with you. Feel free to give me a call, 775-234-2058. Again, Dave Deniston, 775-234-2058, or you can email me, contact@genfamproperties.com. Thank you so much, my friends. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.